You ever feel like no matter what you do, no matter how hard you push, the doors just slam shut? Like every time you try to get in, there's a wall you just can't break through? It's not because you're not smart enough, not because you don't know your stuff. It's something else, something deeper, and it's burning under your skin every single day. The truth is, rejection by limited partners isn't about failure. It's about the system telling you you don't fit in their neat little box. And that's a fire you need to understand if you want to turn it into your fuel. Imagine being told over and over that your vision is too wild, too risky, too weird for their structures. They smile and nod, but the refusal is clear. Implied in their silence, their polite decline, the polite, we're just not the right fit. You feel that hit in your gut. The sting of not just being denied money, but being told, you don't belong here. It's brutal. And it happens more often than you think. But here's the thing. What would it really take to get rejected by every single limited partner out there? What if you strip down every expectation, every safe move, and just let yourself go fully, truly honest? What if you stopped giving a damn about fitting in? What if you chased ideas so raw, so unfiltered, so unapologetic that the system itself would have no choice but to say, nope, not with us? It's painful, that feeling, facing a sea of closed doors while every friendly smile hides a locked gate. But pain is a sign. Pain means you're touching a nerve, a truth they don't want to face, a boundary they don't want to cross. What if the secret isn't to avoid the pain or dodge the rejection, but to go straight through it? To take every no and use it as an affirmation that you're onto something real, something disruptive. Think about the real reason limited partners say no. It's not just about numbers or track records, it's about trust, it's about control, it's about what they know and what scares them. They want you to fit a template because that keeps them safe. Safe money, safe outcomes, safe stories. But when you start shaking their world with ideas bigger than what they're ready for, when you start living outside their comfort zones, guess what? The rejections pile up. Because real change doesn't come from comfort zones. Here's a brutal truth. If you want to be accepted by everyone, you'll never change anything. You'll chase approval, mold yourself into a shape that fits the status quo. And when you do that, your fire goes out. Your vision becomes diluted, watered down to a pale imitation of what it could be. The very thing that could have broken the mold dies quietly, because you cared more about fitting in than standing out. Now imagine flipping the script. What if getting rejected by every limited partner became your badge of honor? The signpost that says, here stands someone too alive, too crazy, too driven to be boxed in. Because rejection is often just fear masked as judgment. Fear of losing what's safe. Fear of what's unknown. And fear is a powerful force, but it's also fragile. To push past this, you've got to stop trying to be the person everyone wants you to be. Stop worrying about the polished pitch deck or the perfect metrics. Yes, those matter. But more than that, what matters is the story behind those numbers, the relentless drive, the willingness to stare into the abyss and say, I don't care if you reject me. I'm here to change the game. And it's not just about bold ideas, it's about ruthless honesty with yourself, about cutting through every layer of should and ought to that's been stuffed into your brain since day one. What does your vision look like when you take off the mask? What do you want when no one is watching? That's where the power lies. This power, the power to be rejected, to be misunderstood, to be cast out, is magnetic. It draws the right kind of people, the ones hungry for more than just comfort and safety. It clears the path for innovation that shakes foundations and builds something new. Because every limited partner who says no is not the end. It's the clearing of brush so only the fiercest, most real ideas survive. But how do you harness this? How do you take the gut punch of rejection and turn it into rocket fuel? First, you embrace the discomfort. Welcome it like an old friend who's here to tell you you're on the right path. Second, you stop trying to sell yourself to everyone. Focus on the few who see the fire in your eyes. Those rare people who don't just invest in numbers, but in the human behind the vision. And third, you commit to transformation. This isn't a sprint for cash. This is a marathon of becoming. Becoming someone who doesn't just want to fit in, but someone who breaks the mold daily. Here's something most people miss. Rejection is a signal, not a wall. It's the system's way of testing if you're serious, if you're willing to go beyond what's comfortable, beyond what's expected. If you get every rejection, it means you're hitting edges. And edges are where breakthroughs happen. You want to be the person who scares the system senseless? Start by being so honest, so raw, so unapologetically you that no one can box you in. Say no to safe bets. Yes to wild dreams. Stop shrinking to soothe discomfort. Start expanding to challenge reality itself. Because that's what every limited partner really fears. The kind of person who can see beyond numbers to the future those numbers hint at. You have to become the embodiment of selective alignment. Not everyone will get you, and that's okay. You're not here to please the many. You're here to ignite the few who burn just as fiercely. Don't waste fire trying to warm a room full of ice. And listen, it's okay to take your hits, to hear all the no's piled up like a wall around your staircase. But what you can't do is let the noise drown out your own voice. If the only places you find belong are places where your voice is muted, it's time to find new places. Places that crave the chaos you bring. Places that know transformation isn't comfortable. It's necessary. So, what would it take to get rejected by every limited partner? It would take a relentless commitment to your own truth, a refusal to water down your vision, a willingness to burn bridges that don't lead to where you must go, and a bravery to meet every no with a fierce next. It would take seeing rejection not as a death sentence, but as a spark for a revolution in how you think, how you lead, how you build. When facing rejection, remember this. The system rewards what it already understands and fears what it can't control. If you want to be truly groundbreaking, prepare to be misunderstood. Prepare to stand alone in a room full of nodding heads, because real innovation isn't born in applause. It's born in quiet rebellion against the predictable, the easy, the expected. This journey is not for the faint-hearted. It's a road littered with doubt, loneliness, and endless no's. But it's also where the fiercest fires burn brightest. And on the other side of every rejection is a version of you stronger, sharper, more alive than you ever thought possible. So don't fear rejection. Chase it. Embrace it. Own it. Let it crush the old, tired versions of yourself, so the new, unbreakable you can rise. Because the only way to stand out in a world full of maybes and maybe-nots is to be so undeniably real, so relentlessly you, that rejection becomes less about failure and more about proof that you're the one worth picking. This is not about fitting in. It's about standing out, even if it means facing 1,000 closed doors. Because behind every closed door is a path waiting for those brave enough to seek it elsewhere. And when you're ready, not just to survive rejection but to thrive because of it, then every no is a step closer to the yes that matters. The yes that changes everything, not just for you, but for the world. So ask yourself, are you ready to get rejected by every limited partner? Because if you are, you're ready for something bigger, something real, something revolutionary. It starts with burning down the old rules and rising from the flames, unbreakable.